Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for Euro 2020 fantasy football content. My name is Dan and today I've got for you a video all about how to react to the disaster of both the Netherlands and Spain being knocked out of the tournament. Now I'm sure a few of you will have your wildcard in your back pocket already to use. I'm even more sure that some of those people will be very keen to let us all know that they still have their wildcard in the comments. But rest assured, guys, I think there's going to be a lot of panic setting in between all of us who haven't got those wild cards. I personally have 6 players knocked out of the tournament already. I'm sure you guys will have it a lot worse. And with England set to play Germany this evening, I think it's going to get a little bit even worse for some of you as well. So if you're looking at Matchday 5, you're looking at your team and you're noticing maybe you've got a few more ineligible players than you were kind of hoping for, I'm kind of here to reassure you. We're all kind of in the same boat here. No one saw this come in. Don't listen to any of those annoying, anecdotal, I told you so people. It's just one of those things. So judge your decision that you made, not the outcome that happened. Don't panic. We move. And yeah, let's turn this chaos into a ladder and use it to our advantage and see, if you find this video useful at all. And if you do, maybe leave a like. That would be really awesome, and subscribe, of course, if you love fantasy football just as much as I do. So a lot of panic is going to set in now, which means a lot of fantasy players will be making some extreme moves, some dumb moves. And as you know, we have only 3 free transfers, and every additional transfer is going to cost 4 points. It's going to take 4 points off our total score. So many people are going to go full send. They take a -8, -12, -16 hits. And I can tell you, if you take that many hits, you will not make it back. You will not make those points back from the hits that you spent, if you like. So the key here is to use your transfers very wisely this round, because after this round we get 5 transfers to spend in each of the subsequent 2 rounds, and that is going to make life so much easier. So don't panic too much now. We can always fix some things a little bit later if we have to. We don't have to get a full squad of 15. I really don't think that. This is the hard round, just to make some nice key decisions and not panic. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to ace it, and we're going to take advantage of those people who are panicking. So let's have a look at how this next round of fixtures is going to look. So Belgium versus Italy, Switzerland versus Spain, and Germany or England versus Sweden or Ukraine as I record this video. Maybe that result's already been decided by the time you watch this, but Czech Republic versus Denmark is the other one there as well. So again, we need to go with the odds, maximise our chances, and pick out those games with the most obvious winner. Spanish players against Switzerland. That looks like a really good bet and could be a goal fest, judging by yesterday's results, all the goals in yesterday's games. Yeah, definitely might be some goals in this one as well. So maybe we're looking at Sarabia, Morata, Ferran Torres, and the winner of England versus Germany. Those look like some really good teams to go in for as well, looking at their bracket, if you like. So Sweden and Ukraine have not exactly been great in attack, so a Havertz or a Sterling could be a great pick up against them. And the final team I'll be keeping an eye on for transfer moves is Denmark. Now, I know the Czech Republic beat the Netherlands, and they've done a great job, but they still are one of the weaker teams of the remaining teams. Now, there's nothing to be ashamed of being one of the weaker teams out of the top 8. That's nothing to be ashamed of at all. They've done really well. But Denmark have looked fabulous. There's a real good vibe there, and they have just got some fantastic budget options to spread the cost as well. We're looking at Merla, Damsgaard, Dolberg. You maybe think about Patrick Schick from the Czech Republic as well. You could maybe also look at Italy as well. I guess if you're maybe not heavily invested in Italy already. I am personally. I've already got 4 Italy players. But if you only got 1 or 2 Italy players for whatever reason, could be a good idea to go on some of them as well. They could still score a few goals here at least against Belgium. So we're kind of looking at Immobile, Insigne, if he plays. There's going to be a bit of risk there. We don't know 100% who's going to go through there. But, like I said, in the next round we get 5 transfers. So we can fix a lot of stuff in the later rounds. So we don't have to worry about thinking too long term, if you like. Now, you may have noticed that a lot of the players I've just spoken about are attacking players, midfielders or forwards. Now, that's not an accident. So the average goal so far in the knockout stage is 4 goals per game so far, or 2 goals per team in a round. So this is a lot of goals. There's a lot of goals been happening. The average goals for each game in the group stage was just 2.6 goals per game, or 1.3 goals per team. So it's almost doubled. It's almost doubled as we go into the knockout stages. Now, I think this is actually pretty consistent with data from previous international tournaments as well. And I put it down to 3 things, really. So, number 1, games often last 120 minutes rather than 90 minutes, which literally gives more time for goals to be scored. Number 2, teams are more desperate and more attacking when they're losing. We kind of also saw this in the final round of the group stages as well. A lot more attacking, a lot more goals and stuff like that, because there's more desperation that sets in. And number 3, the standard of defending is just not that high in this tournament. Outside of Italy, maybe England, who has actually been looking like a solid defensive unit. Not many teams, to be honest. So that means we want to be targeting those attacking players, and those are the guys who are going to be seeing more points. Whereas defenders, a lot of the time, you're going to be lucky to see 2 points. Many of the defenders that look like great picks last match day, Dumfries, Pavard, Kimpembe, Alba, Laporte. Some of the Italy defenders, all of the Italy defenders, in fact, other than Spinazzola, all of these guys were on, 2 points or less. Some were even on 1 point, some on 0 points, some on -1 point. So yeah, even what seems like the best defensive options are still scoring super low amount of points. Not many clean sheets going around, I'm afraid, guys. So when we're making our transfers and we're talking about losing 4 points per transfer, do you really want to take a 4-point hit, take away 4 points from your score to bring in a player who's going to score 1 or 2 points? Doesn't really make sense, does it, guys? So yeah, we have to make sure that any transfer we make are very good transfers, players who are likely to gain us points in this round, maybe a little bit in subsequent rounds as well, but we have to concentrate most on this round because, like I said, so many transfers to use it in the future. But the main focus of this whole thing should be this round, and like I said, guys, you get loads of transfers later. So let's focus on the right now. So I'm going to put for you an example team on screen here, and I think this is probably the structure of what the average team looks like right now. Yours might be structured slightly differently. Hopefully it's pretty similar, so we can use this as a decent example. So you probably have, or will have, 7, 8, 9 players still eligible to play, and I've marked these guys as the blue players. And this for ineligible players, they're red. You might have 6, 7, 8 of those. Honestly, if you finish this match day with 10 or more eligible players, I think you should consider yourself very lucky. I think most of us who obviously are not on a wild card, and if we went in on Netherlands and Italy and stuff, you're probably going to find yourself with 6, 7, 8 players who are ineligible to go forwards by the end of the match day, which is not ideal. I know it's not ideal, but we're going to sort it out. So let's take an average of 8 players remaining. You need 3 free transfers here just to field 11 players next match day. So let's use these 3 free transfers, first of all, on the most premium attackers that are no longer available who are in your team. So these red guys that you see on the pitch here, the attacking red guys, are going to be players like Mbappe, Benzema, Ronaldo, Depay, Wijnaldum, Pogba in midfield, maybe Bale if you have him, for example. So these guys we can sell them straight away and free up loads of money and use that money to bring in some real heavy hitters. So we might bring in, Morata, Immobile and Havertz as a trio, just for a very rough example. Which could look pretty good. So once you've done that, you've taken out 3 big hitting attacking players and you replaced them with 3 big hitting attacking players who can actually play in this tournament, then that's our free transfers done. That's the priority moves done. And suddenly our team is looking a million times better. As you can see on screen, we've got 11 eligible players in a 3-4-3 formation. Maybe you guys need one more transfer to make this happen, but if so, you need to take a -4 to make this happen. So be it. If you can get 11 players on the pitch in a 3-4-3 formation, the most attacking formation possible, the best formation to have right now, then this is good. If you need an extra transfer to do that, to make it into a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2, maybe a good idea to take the -4. However, you still have got you've got another ineligible forward or slash midfielder worth 8 or 9 or 10 million on the bench. We see the final bench slot here. There's another midfielder slash forward. If so, you could maybe consider taking an additional -4 hit to replace them with another big hitting player as a kind of a backup. A backup big hitting player. If one of them blanks, you could do it. I think it's kind of optional at this point. But yeah, if you can scrape together a 3-4-3, 3-5-2 with some real nice premium attackers just by using your free transfers alone, I think you're in a really good position. And once we've done that, you can have a look at your bench. So let's have a look at the bench on screen in full. So there's 1 ineligible goalkeeper, there's 2 ineligible defenders on there, and there's 1 ineligible forward slash midfielder on there. The goalkeeper you should just ignore, just let him rot on the bench. As long as you have a goalkeeper who is guaranteed to start already on the pitch, I would never take a -4 to get an additional goalkeeper. A waste of time. Then we have the defenders. If you don't have 3 fit defenders, 3 fit and eligible defenders, I guess, fair enough, take a hit. Make sure you have 3 defenders at least. But if you already have 3, do you really want to take a -4 hit, even if one of your playing defenders literally might score 0 points? Even if that was to happen, one of your playing defenders, the ones who are actually eligible right now, even if one of them scored 0 points, even if you were then to take a -4 hit to create a bench option just in case you get a player with 0 points, it's still very likely that the player that you've just taken a -4 hit to bring in only scores 1 point, 2 point. They will literally have to get a clean sheet or an assist or something to make it worthwhile. And you've got to think, how likely is that? So even if you're a place, you think, oh, my player's on the pitch, they're just going to score 0 points, I'm going to take a -4 to replace them. So you can still end up losing points even by doing that. So it's a real risk there if you really want to do it. A real risk that I'm not really so keen for. I would probably consider just leaving it. And if you've got 3 players who you know are going to play, that's probably going to be good enough, to be honest. Even if you don't know if they're going to play, to be honest, just because the defenders are just not bringing in points in this round because of the lack of clean sheets going around. But yeah, depending on your budget, we could also switch around this final midfielder / forward. In fantasy, we call this player the 8th attacker, if you like. So the 8th attacker, you can maybe take a -4 to bring in another big hit in, particularly if you've got a lot of budget there. You know, if you've got like 10 million or 8 million or something like that to spend on another midfielder or forward, actually maybe that might be worth bringing in, especially if you like the look of a player. If you really fancy a player, you want to take a -4 to boost the final attacker on your bench. In that case, I'm kind of leaning towards, okay, yeah, maybe you could do that, as long as it is a player that you really like, the player you really like the look of and you want to bring into your team. But there you go, guys. If not, maybe just leave it. Remember, guys, you don't have to use -4 hits over and over again to try and get 1 million players in your squad. This is kind of the message of this video, I think. If you can get you know, your 5 free transfers next week and the next 2 rounds, I guess, that you can start to fix the rest of your team at that point. I really think you can just save it there. If you can field 11 players, that's amazing. If you're taking hits to get 12 players in your squad, okay, this is where you start to take on some risk. I think it's okay to take on some risk, but the problem is when you start taking, you know, hits to get up to 13 or 14 players, I think that's when you start to get towards stupidity. So priority, guys, get yourself 11 players on the pitch, make it into a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2 formation. No matter how many hits it takes, get to that point, get to 3-4-3, 3-5-2 with 11 players on the pitch. That's your priority, and then after that, handle it with caution and only make transfers you're 100% confident in. There will be Euro fantasy managers taking -12s, -16s and more to try and be greedy and fill their entire squads, and these are the people that we're going to take advantage of. These are the people who we are going to beat by knowing what is a worthwhile transfer and what is not. Remember, you don't get any points for players on your bench, and your player has to score really 6 or more points for any -4 point to be worthwhile. What are the chances of that happening? Think about it. More likely with attackers, certainly at this stage in the tournament. So there you go, guys. With all that information, hopefully that's really helpful and you have got this. So thank you for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please do leave a like and subscribe if you are new around here, of course. Hopefully, like I said, this is going to be useful to you guys. Hopefully it will calm you down a little bit. It's certainly calmed me down a little bit making this video and starting to think about it and rationalize everything and coming up with a little bit of a strategy, really, of how to deal with this situation. I think we're going to be all right, guys. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you later, mates, where we're going to do my team selection video, buy, sell, keep, avoid, and I'm going to try and squeeze in a wildcard draft for those of you guys who do still have your wild card. Hope to see you then, and once again, I'll see you later, mates. Bye bye.